So Venom Let There Be Carnage released in the UK a couple of days ago, and I went to see it on the night of release. And usually when I do this, I would like film a little bit of my journey to go and watch it, and then I'd sit down and give my thoughts, but I went really late, so there was no point in doing it. But I'm here now anyway, and this is also my first Marvel video in a while, so if you want to see any more of them, let me know, leave a like, etc, etc. So this is why Venom 1 is better than Venom 2 or Let There Be Carnage in just a short 5 minutes. So let's go straight on with the overall movie, and then we'll split off to some characters. So for one, the pacing was really weird, like really weird. It went so quickly, I couldn't tell what was happening half the time. And alongside the pacing being off, the plot was a little bit off, because really not that much happened. Like, think about it, there was the relationship between Venom and Eddie where they fall out and then they have to team back up again to stop Carnage. And then if you go on the flip side, what were the antagonists doing? Eddie visited Cassidy, he bit him, he broke out of prison because he had Carnage in him, and then he was just going around killing some people, and then it led to the fight scene at the end, and that was about it. So really not much happened in this movie. So one, the pacing was off, and two, the story just wasn't very interesting. Like, it really wasn't. You may have enjoyed the movie, but the story wasn't what made it enjoyable, if you did enjoy it, surely. I mean, I get it's subjective, so let me know if you did actually enjoy the story, but I really didn't. Not much happened. However, I don't want to seem like I'm just like slandering this movie the whole time, because it was still a good movie. I'd recommend you go and watch it, but I'm just explaining why it's not as good as number one. So now that I've covered the overall part of the movie, let's break off to some characters. Eddie and Venom had the same arc as they did in Venom 1, and the Venom 1 arc made more sense. They were arguing in Venom 1, and they decided actually we need to work together to defeat this bad symbiote, and that made a lot of sense as to why they were arguing, because they only just met each other. And obviously it makes the same amount of sense in the end when they team up to fight the bad symbiote, because well, they are good guys, they're not villains. But the thing that's worse in Let There Be Carnage, because like I've just said, them teaming up to fight the bad symbiote being Carnage in this movie makes complete sense. But what's worse is the fact that they've done it again. Like, why isn't their relationship more stable at this point? Because they've been together longer, so surely they're more used to each other. Maybe there's the argument that, you know, living with a symbiote inside of you that acts like a huge child isn't the easiest thing, which is understandable. But then why was Eddie also acting like a child towards Venom? We know he was a bit crazy and like wild in Venom 1, but that was only when he was literally going mad because Venom was inside of him. But surely now that he's more used to Venom being inside of him, his personality has returned more back to what it was like before Venom went into him. And if you remember, he wasn't like a hilarious joker all the time. He wasn't a big baby. He was a reporter. He was a serious guy. He had a relationship. He was a stable man. And then it all went down the drain when Venom went into him. But by the end of it, he was getting on the way to being back to normal, but just with Venom inside of him. And although he had his job back, his apartment was looking like nice, it didn't look like Venom was destroying it all the time, his personality was just different. He was being as much of a child to Venom as Venom was to Eddie. And then if we go on the flip side again, let's go to the antagonist. Cletus Cassidy was just a bit weird. He wasn't the worst villain I've ever seen. I mean, his motives are very basic. He's a serial killer, so he is clearly crazy, so he just wants to kill people all the time. You don't need to explain why he hates everyone, because he's just a crazy person. Carnage was alright. I don't understand how he was so incredibly powerful, especially compared to Venom, just by having a drop of Venom's blood. That's probably from the comics. If anyone that reads the comics can let me know, that would be great. But as a more casual fan that doesn't read the comics, that was quite confusing to me, and I know a lot of people would think the same, because I went to watch it with people and they thought the same. I wish we saw a bit more of Carnage's personality like we see of Venom's personality, although one thing that I did like about his personality is something that I can relate to with his personality, and he didn't like Cletus Cassidy's girlfriend, or was going to be wife. She was so annoying. Every scene that she was in was made so much worse by her being in the scene. She was only there for the fact that she can scream and make loud high-pitched noises, which obviously hurts the symbiotes, which worked in the final fight. That's the only reason she was there. Simple as that. She wasn't a good love interest. She wasn't an interesting character. There was nothing to her. She could just scream loud because she had a mutation. Is this their attempt to bring in mutants to the MCU? Because if so, quite pathetic, because they didn't explain how she has a mutation. She just says her mutation, blah 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 blah. Anyway, on to the post-credit scene. Very good. but obviously it's not enough to carry this movie to be better than Venom 1, so it is still worse than Venom 1. However, I really like the character of Eddie and Venom, two of the characters that actually got out of this movie alive, so I am excited to see them in potentially No Way Home, whether that be a big role or just another post-credit scene, and then Venom 3 or the next Spider-Man, whatever, is going to have a more significant role involving Tom Holland Spider-Man. I don't know, but I'm very excited to see them in the future, but Venom Let There Be Carnage just wasn't it, in my opinion. So that is why Venom is better than Venom Let There Be Carnage in 5 minutes. So if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, subscribe for more Marvel and Star Wars content. Let me know what you think about Venom Let There Be Carnage. Let me know what you thought about this video. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Goodbye.